What's going on, everybody? Back with another lecture. This will be the introduction um, to the services we have in the metaphysics of Southeast Texas. Um, I'm going to give you some of the science and technology, a little bit of the wisdom, break a little bit of it down um, to let you know what's going on within classes, consultations, um, spiritual readings, everything we have for the future. So, without further ado, I hope everybody's have a blessed week. Um, we're going to talk about a couple of concepts of spirituality and let you know where I'm coming from and where I'm going. And I'm sure you can find yourself within there somewhere. Okay. So, for those that don't know, my name is Jordan. Um, I'm about a 6-year heavy metaphysician, um, doing adept studies for the information of the now and the now, what we're looking for as far as what the gods call for the knowledge to be on the planet is ascension. Now, the reason why I got into ascension is because um, regardless of what I heard, people saying that it's not really a science. It is very much a science. I found it to be more closely related to me than anything. It's something I found within my birthright. Besides me just knowing that science and knowledge of your esoteric higher self, which is your soul and your spirit. Beyond all of that, we go through paradigms as eons pass, and as of right now, this is what's important, if you will, at the moment. If you're trying to grab a hold of your life in any way, if you're sick of being subjective to things, being the effect of somebody else's order, or getting sick of seeing the monotonous stream of how life can be geared, then I promise you that the science is the way out of those cycles. Um, just to start something light, we'll start speaking about religion. I come from a Christianity background. Now, besides us knowing that religion is only based upon a deeper knowledge that the preachers don't teach, um, as a child, I was born and raised in church. So I remember doing plays there and, Black History Month and um, the whole rigmarole of just being ready to go. We had church from 10 in the morning to 1 in the evening. And we usually get there pretty late just, to help time go by. But as a child, besides just, being loyal to my parents wanting to go to church, a little bit later on, whenever I got sick of just sitting there, I started rebelling against church. And not rebelling in the fact that as if something's bad, but I felt like I was wasting my time just sitting there, me and my brother. Just sitting in church. Are you learning anything from this? Not really, but hey, it's what we're supposed to be doing. Letting one person guide you out of the whole flock, and there's no personal punctuation within the stories. Or see, in science, we call that the right hand path. It means doing what the sheep are doing. Now, the left hand path has to do with what's personal to your light, what your angle of light is, as far as getting, like, even to the point where you're getting readings to see what your, how cohesive your thinking is to a specific angle of light, which we call deities. And those deities have duties, within the technology. Now, religion, any religion, let me let you know, it's a logical fashion. It's a logical fashion, meaning it's fashion for your logic to be swayed. When I say that, what I mean is, every time he says God, something has to be right. Every time he says devil, something has to be wrong. And you become subjective to whatever he says based upon, let's just say, you being under his spell in a way. In a way, the pastor is a magician because he has a science to everything he does, just like an itinerary is a science. You don't have breakfast at night and dinner in the morning. So religion, what I mean is a logical fashion. There are certain topics within religion that aren't in balance with what well, actually, the timeline of when religion came along, it isn't where it's supposed to be more honest. So logically, you couldn't win $1 million with the knowledge of just your religion unless you became a pastor. That's point blank, period. Spirituality is what you would call the opposite polarity, because what you find in the church, you find some things in spirituality, like older people, when they're in church, they find the hallelujah, call it the Holy Spirit. And when you see these people act like they're catching the spirit, which I'm not saying that they aren't. They're dancing, they're letting go, they're removing, the bullshit from their life by a couple of minutes of dancing, stomping on the ground, things of that nature. In spirituality, we go beyond the logic, and your spirit and your soul is the explanation of that zen that those older women were trying to create by stomping on the ground and dancing. Because what they're really trying to say is, by doing that, they're creating order in their life, even though it may look like an act of ridiculousness. But spirituality is more about self. It's more geared to oneself. It's about, understanding your inner energies, how they're reflected in your life, being able to balance, opening the doors to the secrets that lie beneath the reason why your life has been the way it had. Excuse me. But with spirituality, instead of being subjective, you find yourself on a path to be proactive or sovereign. Proactive to everything around you. Because with spirituality, there is no believing in anything that isn't a fact. Everything is a fact, and everything is show and prove. So, as far as religion goes, you can logically put anything together. Within spirituality, there's a science. Same way the psychologists find sciences within people's pathologies in order to figure out whether they are sane or insane. The reason that I know these things to be true is because I can easily break down the science of ascension, which means to rise. And for those who know what chakras are the rising and falling of energies along the spine, which is most of your body. And you have 7 chakras. The number 7 represents balance. It represents you being the beholder of your own light once you understand all 7 chakras and their duties, what they can do for you, how you can use them to find an alternate state of reality, how to gear yourself towards a better life. So, besides religion and just the Jesus and the devil thing, which truly has a science to it that we never spoke on, in the science or in spirituality, there's that same story. And we might or might not get into that this lecture. We might get into that in the classes. But simply put, it's the explanation of white light and dark light. They told you in the Bible, Lucifer fell from the heavens and became the devil on earth. That's an esoteric expression. When you're reading this Bible, it has to be understood that it has true meaning. It's hidden based upon the way it's written. And Lucifer means light bringer. Everybody who fell from the heavens to come to earth fell as a form of them falling from their higher spirituality, meaning not having any physical composition to having a physical composition, and bringing light to the planet, or as well having the potential to bring light to the planet. This light is the white and the dark light, which lies within infinite concepts within spirituality. So there's no one way to do things, but there isn't a logical way over a scientific one. So as Lucifer fell from the heavens, which is the light bearer, he fell to the earth, giving him life. And him being called the devil is nothing but a code word for saying a fool, if you will. A fool to what how can I say this? A fool to what life has to offer. Meaning he's just beginning, not meaning he's a bad person. As opposed to Jesus is the one who is doing the work. He is the one that's venerating the things that need to be venerating. He's making old things new again. He's turning water to wine. He's doing miraculous things. All of this is relating to self. It's not outside of self. There's no Jesus or no devil that's about to fall from the sky. That's what I mean by logical. This book is already expecting you to have a certain amplification of scientific understanding before you read it. So it is indeed a powerful book if you know how to read it and its meanings. But continuing on, Jesus and the Devil in the Holy Bible, which means Helios book, which means sun book. In Egyptian lore, you have the book of coming forth by day and night, the book of the sun book, which is the same thing as the Holy Bible. The names are different. The storylines are the same. The science is the same. The mathematics are pretty much the same. But it still takes study for you to understand how cohesively in tune with one another that they are. Now, there are other cultures that speak the same story. That's the reason why we're speaking on this. I need this to be understood. Mythology, which is what we're speaking on in scientific definitions, this is the story of how sciences of the great work are pretty much set in stone, and it's still reference to self. So if you want to become Jesus, there's a certain way you walk. If you want to become Horus in Egyptian lore, which those are both the same characters, there's a certain way that you're supposed to speak. And Jesus means the one who bears the light. Lucifer is the one who brought the light. And all of this work is to enhance that attribute of Lucifer within you, which just means light. So that white and dark light is an aspect of Lucifer. Since you can even understand that these things are light, then you are Lucifer. As you see it, so it is. Get beyond the stigmatism of the name and the title and understand that it's only a definition for you to compare and contrast it to something else. So Lucifer is the light bringer. Jesus is the light bearer. Jesus would, if I was speaking scientifically, I would say Jesus is the one that gets to do the wisdom because he understands the knowledge, meaning he can bear the light already. Lucifer is the one who has still to know the knowledge in order for him to bear it. So Lucifer becomes Jesus, or the devil becomes Jesus. Set becomes Horus, or you have this Egyptian aspect of you on earth, and your spiritual activity is this three-headed beast. You in your physicality in the head of Horus and the head of Set. Set will represent the light being brought. Horus will represent the light being bared. This is nothing but generator, operator, and destroyer of your own energy. You generate your own energy, whether you speak things into existence. You operate your own energy, whether it's meditation, and you transform your own energy, whether it's mudras or candle magic or ritual. You call the shots is the aspect we're coming from. So everybody needs to get in the idea of being in charge of themselves, not anything outside of them. That for me is what all I was looking for, was to be in charge of myself and my own reality. So with that being said, I'm sure nobody has a problem with being in charge of their life, especially since that's a form of a calling. You wouldn't deter that. You wouldn't turn that around. You wouldn't send that the opposite way. That would be something that you actually spend a lot of time on and bear witness to what it holds for you. So moving on to the classes, like I said, these are the Ascension Opus classes. Opus means work or a body of work. Ascension means to rise. Based upon a certain amount of work I did within science and technology, I understand that this is the time to rise within ourselves, whether it be chakras, using Elohim, you understanding your soul, you understanding your spirit, using it to navigate you to alternate realities, finding secrets, doing channels, anything. It's only for you to get to a point where you said, this is what I was looking for. As far as magic goes, it represents, or its definition is, a means to an end. So if there's a question that you want to have answered, you use magic and you find the answer. That is all it is. No logic, only science. You apply your emotion when you understand it. Occult, which is another side of the classes, means hidden. Most of the time a hidden reality. Something hidden from what we call face value. You might have a guy that works at a car shop and he might be the best worker that ever has worked there and hasn't gotten the camaraderie he deserves. And so what you get is maybe one person might understand and get to talk to him and see him and sees that his work ethic is impeccable, and he might understand that to be, well, that was hidden from me, for me to see somebody else do that, for me to see somebody else understand me, and it might be hidden to that person that does the work very much so, or hidden to the workers that's around him that he does do that work very well. So with Ascension Opus classes, I'm teaching multiple expressions, concepts, ways of working. It's all about what you're in tune with and what your imagination helps you tap into. Because I find your imagination helps you gear yourself and really buckle down, and helps you move a little bit more strongly than something that somebody just putting a paper on your desk and saying, "Here, read this." If you're if your imagination is into it, then you're entertained in a sense, but it's more scientific, you know, than it is just you know watching somebody shake their ass on TV. Um, okay, so moving on, science and technology, Ascension, Opus 1, those classes. We'll speak on prices and stuff like that. It's not much. I come from a place where I need more money, where I've needed more money in the past. So I understand that, everybody doesn't have money to spend um, in large amounts in specific places. So I understand if anybody, just from being in a small city, not having many opportunities. So we'll speak about that a little later. What I'm going to get to is one of the seven universal laws. Is as within, so without. The laws of Tahuti, uh, which is one of the deities that I posted in that group. It says, as within, so without, as above, so below. This is a figment of proactivity, for you to know that nothing that's outside of yourself represents proactivity. Anything previous to that form of thinking is you being subjective to something. So if I would say, as a scientist, my back hurts, or I'm feeling gloomy, I would say maybe I need to light a green candle and turn on some cartoons. Smoke me some herbs. Nothing illegal. Just smoke me some herbs that'll lift the vibrations. Easily understood. As far as a bigger concept, you might have the need for prosperity on Earth. Therefore, you might need to leave humanity and understand your spiritual prosperity. You might need to gear your whole paradigm toward prosperity, in the sense of knowing that in order for your lower self to receive the prosperity, it has to be engaged within spirit or in your higher self. So for me, to spirit, your prosperity is truly that knowledge that's representing your own, and of course the effect is you have other opportunities that make their way to you on Earth. That's science 101. That's a natural expression. For you to know more, you can do more, and that's a fact. Look within self, not look within self, as for the world is a reflection of your inner energies. Okay, meaning you're the main person here. You're the thing that's in charge in your life. Nobody else. If you're 17, you live with your parents and they make every decision for you in your life, and you go out into the world at 18, you would have no clue what to do beyond what your parents have told you. So it's important for you to want to engage within yourself in order for you to be able to navigate as smooth as possible. Stop focusing on humanity. What I mean by that is just stuff that you think the things that you think are idiotic to your reality. It is. It might be days where you need to laugh from some idiotic stuff, and it might be some other days where you understand that it kind of gets in your way and wastes your time. Well, understand which one is important. You may need time to do something a little bit more important. Make a change for yourself. Replace that and put your knowledge first, and don't base your concentration on things outside of you. Okay. My notes here. All right. The spiritual higher and lower self. Like we said, the lower self would be a representation as an attachment to humanity. So your attachment to the earth is a form of your humanity. Your attachment to your spirit or your soul is an aspect of spirituality. When humanity is based on your spirituality, is when your lower self becomes conducive to your higher self. And that is when the true union begins. What that means is a lot of people here are working backward, if you would say. Either they're not tapping into their higher energies, or they're looking at humanity as their higher energies. What I would say to that is anything that you find that might not be normal to you is something of spirituality, because it engages you to think different. It takes you out of that monotonous feeling safe aspect to gear you towards something that is fact-based, something that is a fact. It wants you to find out, well, what's real about this, So as far as your humanity goes, like I said, it's an effect from your spirituality, which holds the most juice for you here if you really want to know. It holds everything for you. It's a limitless concept. Your higher self, your spirituality, is your own. You're just encased in this body on earth, doing the work of your higher self. And as you do that, you see that the things around you in your reality, they start to change. All right. So that's when the true union begins. Okay. Like I said, I've been doing this knowledge for quite a while. For me to be 24 years of age, I kind of had to get impressed with myself. It's so much stuff that I've set up as titles as a level of respect for my spirituality. I couldn't speak on it in a lecture. But lo and behold, under this Ascension, the science of and technology of Ascension, through my self-realization, I've been working for about 9 months. I've did about 3 months of channeling, and knocked out about 20 channels, and went to a depth level. I'm a more visual person. I'm a more non-linear, meaning I'm not used to reading, but I can read. I'm just my imagination gears me to what I can see and what concepts are just a little bit beyond, reading words off of paper. So I've read a couple of books, but I've read what I needed to know. I knew what I needed to know before I grabbed a book, period. Remove your emotion. What I see a lot of times is people using their emotion instead of using science. Using your emotion in a sense where it's not even helping you with anything is a logical expression. So what I'm trying to say is, whenever you start doing this magic, or whenever you start understanding this work, understand that your emotion may come first in some cases, but not all. The science is always first in order. Okay? So if you truly want to understand something, you'll remove the way you feel about something from it to understand it. then your emotion will take heed to your understanding. Okay? Prove to oneself, not to others. This is how you become free of other people's intentions. With this magic, I didn't have a reason to prove it to anybody else, even though I found it suitable for it to be useful to other people. Is me staying in my primary form. I'm not looking outside of myself for anything. I'm not engaging within other people's ways of thinking. I'm not including their thinking in what I do magically. I'm still steadfast in my own mind. So prove to oneself, not to others. I will always say don't prove it to anyone else unless you want them to make a decision for you. And I'm sure nobody wants anybody else to make any important decisions for them. Okay? Believe in what you know, and believe in self-realizations is one of the key things in magic. Reason being is because that realization is something that you would never forget. That knowledge and that understanding is something that you can apply to anything. So if you believe in anything, believe in your self-realizations, or believe in that path of you reaching a realization state or a state of knowing is your true path. Okay? Let me go through some of the subjects that we're going to teach in class. I have them here in my phone. Give me just 1 second. And this is not a hard work. It's hard as you make it. So, treat yourself with that respect. It doesn't happen in one night, but every step is just as important as the next because of what it holds for you. Okay? Let's see. I'm writing the lesson plan as we speak. For these classes, the price is $400. Okay, $400 for the class. That includes everything. I break down every concept you need to know. I give you books that you need to know in order to further your sights. I give you references to other teachers if need be, if you need another expression of it. I give you my phone number. All of the classes are on Skype, so there's no reason for anybody to be able to miss it because I record them. And anybody who, wasn't able to make it, you'll always be able to get that recording of the class. Now it's 4 days a week. Well, 3 days a week for 4 weeks and 4 hours a day. So 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. I think is the time I'm going to go with, or 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. 12 noon to 3 p.m. is another time I think I'm going to go with. I'm going to choose soon. But I'm not going to start the class unless it's 10 or more people. I don't want to teach a class where there's just 2 people, and that's the only people I could reach. Like I said, the price is $400, and it's a very fair price for what you get out of it. You get a whole lot of it. You get my world of how I gotten so far And this is only the beginning for myself, within this knowledge and all of the paths that it's led me to some form of transformation. And I'm sure that's what everybody is here for. Now, as far as payment goes, I break it down so it won't be so heavy, because I know, like I said, money, everybody needs more money. So for that $400, you break it up in two. You pay $200 before you start the classes, and then within the first week of class, you pay your other half. So you pay $200 before you start the class, and you pay the other $200 the first week of class. And it's a lot of information for those 4 hours. It's a lot of information. So don't think that I'm going to stand you up on anything. Trust me, we'll have plenty to do. And I'm ready to learn from somebody other than myself. I'm going to repost it on the group, but these are some of the subjects, or a few of the subjects that we're going to be learning in the class. The art of chakras, Elohims, or the rays of Ra, reality programming, sigils, the science of mantras, the 7 universal laws, soul anatomy or soul karma, ancestral union, ancient realities. And when I say ancient realities, I mean the science of what these realities were made for, such as Egypt, such as the Greek stuff, Kawat, all of these different realities that represent the same science. I'm going to go into the science of Brahma, which means the breath of life. Brahman is one who navigates himself. It's you on your path, witnessing your own attributes as you transform. I go into the science of dreaming. I go into the science of true ascension. I tell you how you find your soul, how do you navigate your soul and your spirit, and a couple of other things. I teach you about all of the different types of scripts and their reasoning. I teach you about Kundalini energy, sex magic. I teach you the nature of these deities, Tahuti, Horus, Ra. I teach you some of the duties of these deities and the mythologies, and you go ahead and you go study for yourself. The bulk of the knowledge is only yours to examine. I also teach you, if you have any family members or anything like that you are, in parts of your life that, were important, they were there, and you feel like you need to settle something, I teach you how to handle situations such as those as well. There is no there is no science that cannot be handled. There's nothing that you won't be able to do after you finish these Ascension Opus classes. So I just wanted to put that out there. I'll give you my email, as well as if you're interested in the classes, send me a message in my inbox. Not to say anything else, send me a message in my inbox if you're interested, and we'll go from there. Like I said, there's a payment plan in order for you. There's more to come with these classes. I'm hoping I can get a cycle knocked out early, and some of the people can see that through testimonials what's going on with the classes and how they can change your life. But that's about it. That's all I have to speak on at the moment. Like I said, we'll have much more to come. Might have some type of group outing after we finish so many classes, and might be able to do some other works within the city, within metaphysics as a whole. But sign up, sign up, sign up. If this was me a couple of years ago when I was looking for something to change my life, I would definitely sign up. Um, I have tablets of information, years of study, and I'm willing to learn from you guys. And I'm ready to get this ball rolling. It's enough of it just being about what it is that I can do on my own. Um, I started noticing there's some people that find this important. Um, I ask that you engage yourself in making a decision for your life, because this is what this is about. But that's all for now. That's all I have to speak about. This is Jordan. I'll speak to you guys later. Peace.